As Edrahel, as you make your way to this small figure you recognize as a hobbit, Cyrell, you make your way over to Nebuchadnezzar to start untying this dwarf. When there's this flash of brilliant light that sort of is blinding for a moment as lightning strikes right next to the wagon, and it's on the driver's side again. The wagon all tilts up again. This time, as it's happening, a second bolt of lightning comes down and strikes into the right side of the wagon and blows out the front tire. This wooden spoked wheel just gets destroyed. At the speed you guys were going, the wagon immediately dips into the ground, digs into the dirt, and the wood starts to splinter and break away. And as you're all sort of violently tossed, the wagon flips. And you're all thrown out of the wagon. Everyone who succeeded, which is those who rolled a 15 or better, so good job to Nebuchadnezzar, and the guard that you had at sword point, will take
that's my
damage.
boy.
Will take half damage. Everyone who failed, you are taking 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you slam into the ground. So Nebuchadnezzar, you take 2, and the guard who was lying on the ground takes 2. The driver, on the other hand, you see him sort of thrown ahead, and then as the wagon is flipping over, you hear him scream, and then you hear the scream cut off, and you don't see him. Currently, you're all sort of about 200 meters from the edge of the forest. You're on this dirt road. It's a little rocky. There's dead grass as far as you can see every time a lightning bolt strikes. It's pouring rain. As I said, this was a caravan. There's another wagon behind you that's getting closer. They weren't immediately behind you guys. You don't know how many people are there. You don't know if there are more prisoners like you. You don't even know why you're a prisoner. The person that you were looking after, Dala, he has been flung away from you guys, and he's kind of wiped himself off a little bit, and he started to stand up, and you see that he pulls from behind his back this dagger, and he kind of puts himself at a defensive stance. He's between all of you and the forest, and the other wagon is probably 2 rounds of combat worth of time away from you guys. You've got about 12 seconds until the other wagon arrives.
Oh, man.
The Haley and Nebuchadnezzar, you're both still bound. They didn't have time to untie your hands.
The forest is on both sides, right? Are we closer to one side than to the other, or
the forest is just in front of you? It's this wall of trees as far as you can see on the horizon, but to the left, to the right, and behind you is just open field.
So we're not still in the forest. Okay. Man.
Yep.
So may I do my battle Yuri, which is the same as Rage, and that will give me advantage on strength checks and saving throws.
Yes. So is that a bonus action to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So on your turn, yes.
Okay.
It is Cyrell's turn.
Okay.
I'm going to yell to the group, clear the road, caravan's coming, while also yelling, Will, are you okay? And I don't know what the dwarf's about to do, so am I near anybody? Like, did I land near the dwarf, or where did I land?
Yeah. You're within about 15 feet. Everyone landed in a relatively similar area, but you're probably 10 or 15 feet away from each other, all kind of dotted around.
And did I see the soldier whip out the dagger?
Yes. Yeah. So for you, it would be like, you're here, Dala would be here, and then the soldier with the dagger would be about there. You'd be about 20 feet away from that soldier.
And does Dala still have her sword?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I would yell for Will, and everyone gets safe. I'm gonna go and grab the dwarf's bindings and sort of like try to drag him off the road. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Okay. You call it to Will, and you hear this sort of groaning sound as he climbs up from the side of the wagon. It looks like he had just barely missed getting crushed by it and landed right next to it. And as he kind of crawls up, he goes, "Cyril, I think I found something you're going to want to see." That's all he has time to say. What was the other action you're doing?
I'm trying to grab the dwarf's bindings and like drag him over because I know he's bound and probably gonna get run over.
Yep. So you, it's not too hard. He's relatively smaller than you are, and you're able to kind of drag him. You're able to drag him a bit, 10, 15 feet off the side of the road away from where the caravan's coming.
All right. And then I say, dwarf friend, I don't want you to go splat. Be careful. I'm going to like pull him off the side and drop him and get ready to like run back into the road.
All right. So that is your turn. At the end of your turn, it is the the poor sap's turn, who had pulled out the dagger. He sees Dala closest in front of him, and he kind of walks up to her and he's like, "Girl, you don't want to fight me. Just give me my sword back. Don't make me take it from you." Do you say anything?
You don't know who you're messing with.
Oh! She said, "If you want it, come and claim it."
Yeah, you want this sword taken from my
He's going to lunge at you with his dagger. And so, let's see. Even without your shield, he only rolled an 11, so that's not going to hit you. So as he lunges at you with the dagger, you just very smoothly just do a bit of a flare with the sword, and you kind of clip the edge of the dagger and completely stop the attack. And he just kind of shuffles off to the side against you. And he looks at you, this time taking you a little bit more seriously, and he gets back into that defensive stance and brings the dagger up into his face. And that is going to be the end of his turn. And next up, we have Nebuchadnezzar, the dwarf.
All right. So, my guy's just gonna get really mad, and he's gonna rage out. So he's like, "Rah!" And then he's gonna go into his battle fury. He's gonna try to strength break those binds again, and hopefully be able to do it. So I got all right.
We'll say that because you were tossed and thrown by the wagon, it's probably loosened them slightly. So I'll give you advantage on trying to break your bindings.
Yeah, I had advantage because of my rage deal, but I rolled a 13 twice, so I got a 13.
What's your strength modifier?
It was a 12 plus like 1, so.
Thankfully for you, 13 is enough. And as you pull against your bindings, it's still really hard. And this time you're angry and you let out like a dwarven yell. What's your best dwarven yell, Nebuchadnezzar?
My best, but I got
it. You break the bindings and you're silhouetted by lightning and flashes of brilliant light and rain battering against you, and your mullet blowing in the breeze.
And my beard as well.
And your beard. And you are free. That's your action. You've also taken your bonus action. Would you like to move anywhere?
Can I just like charge into this dude? Just like from the side, just like slam my whole body weight into him.
Use your body weight. Yeah.
All right.
Make an athletics check.
All right, here we go. And because I'm enraged, then those have advantage. They're a strength-based skill. So here we go. All right. And that's a 17. Finally, something good.
I rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
Oh.
Finally, great.
On his desk, Dave.
Just instantly, just my head just gone. I was just like, okay, well.
Well, the funny thing is,
he like turns aside, like his knife is like sticking out at me, and I'm like, oh no.
the funny thing is, because he was in a defensive stance, he actually had advantage on it, and that was my first roll. So that's great. I never roll 20s. I'm very excited
Great.
about this. Anyway,
Awesome.
you kind of let out your dwarven rage yell, and you charge towards him. Unfortunately, yelling made very obvious where you are and what you're doing, and
That
he
makes
sees
sense.
you coming from like 20 feet away, and he's able to. He kind of takes a step back to kind of goad you into running a little bit harder, a little bit faster, and then right as you get closer, he actually lunges towards you and just full on like rated R superstar. He just spears you into the ground. You don't take any damage, but you're now prone, and the two of you are sort of ground wrestling at this point.
Nice. How much
That is your
blood
turn.
do I have on me at this point? I mean, I've been tossed around quite a bit. Am I just like covered in just mud at this point?
Oh yeah, at this point,
Nice.
yeah.
Good. Okay.
You just wanted to know that? That's just
Important question. That's an important question.
You
It's an
wanted to get
important
into
question.
character. I understand. He's got a potted plant next to him, and he's going to rub it on his face. Edrahel, you see this dwarf charging towards this guard-esque character. Slams into him. They're both tussling on the ground. You look behind you. You see a caravan coming, not too far away. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna run towards the hobbit that I see to try to carry her and run to the forest. So just run to it, hop, and then keep running.
Okay. Make a athletics check to carry the hobbit as you go into a dead sprint.
Oh boy.
Make a carry the hobbit check.
Nobody carries a hobbit.
Shadow lore. That's what that one is. Shadow.
I got a 5.
5. That's fine. You're able to pick Haley up and get her over her shoulder, and you start running towards the forest. With that strength check, your movement speed is halved in carrying her. So you're able to make it about 15 feet, which gets you at the end of your turn anyway. As you're running, you get up to around the same area as Nebuchadnezzar and this brigand are rolling around on the ground.
Also, I was way behind Nebuchadnezzar.
Haley was.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. Haley, you are currently being carried on the shoulder of Edrahel, the elf. What would you like to do?
I had an idea what I was gonna do, and then everything changed.
Welcome to Lord of the Rings.
Where is he running?
Running towards the forest.
Towards the forest.
Like away from it all?
Yes. Continuing in the
Okay.
direction the wagon was going.
Like maybe like. So am I like trying to hang on? Because I'm still bound. Or is
Yeah.
he like holding me?
He's got you over his shoulder.
Like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I turn to his pointy ear, I guess, and I say, where are you going? Huh? Pretty sure I'm still pretty bound, so thanks, but where are we headed? Because I don't know what to do at this point.
You can respond if you want.
I'm just going to the forest. I have a better chance of hiding there, and I see this other wagon coming, so that's it.
Okay.
Period.
I don't know what to do at this point. I'm kind of stuck, but I don't feel like I need. I don't feel like it would benefit me to fall off his shoulder at this point.
Okay. All right. So you allow yourself to be carried. After Haley, it's Wilhelm's turn. And after yelling to you that there's something you might want to see, he disappears on the other side of the wagon for a second. And then when he comes back up, he's sort of wielding this sword that's about half as long as he is. And he's like, Cyrell, catch! And he kind of grabs it by the handle and just chucks it over towards you. He's throwing your longsword to you. He's going to
Don't
make
okay, we
roll on
practiced
that
this.
one.
We practiced
Don't
this
roll on
before.
that one.
yeah, it is flying towards you. I'm going to make a strength check for aim to see how well he does. I rolled a 19.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey,
I caught him
minus
well.
1. It's an 18, but still, he throws the sword over to you, and it actually like lands about 5 feet in front of you and skids in the muddy dirt within reach. So it's basically at your feet at this point. And he goes, and there's a lot more where that came from. And he disappears on the other side of the wagon again, and that's his turn. Dala, it's your turn. Top of the round. What would you like to do? The wagon is much closer, the one that was behind you guys, as it's approaching.
Well, I yell to Edrel and Haley, and I try and stop them because I want them to follow me. And I believe I have the sword still, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to. Can I try and set Haley free?
Yeah, okay, you were right there. You would have to catch up to Edrahel.
You said that by the end of my turn, I was close to where she was.
Yeah, but you're still at a dead run, and she's trying to come over there and set Haley free.
Okay.
So, well, I'll say, Donna, if that's what you like to do, you can run and catch up to Edrahel, and say that to him, and then we'll save the rest of your turn until Edrahel's turn, and if he agrees and stops, then you can cut Haley free. So we're gonna hold that action until we get to Edrahel's turn. All right. The guy that is currently in a ground tussle with Nebuchadnezzar, he's still got his hand on his dagger, and he's gonna try and jab that into your side there, Nebuchadnezzar. And with an 8, he will be unsuccessful. You spot it and you grab the wrist, and he's trying to like drive it right into your side over here, like where your lung is, and he's trying to get it in, but you're holding him back. And he's going to bonus action spit in your eye.
Can I dexterity save to close my eye in time?
Yes, you can.
All right. And if I get a
dex
nat
save.
20, someone has to crit. Okay, let's see what happens.
You shouldn't
I
have
get
that.
a 8
An
on my
8.
dex. Yes.
You're not able to get your eye closed in
You
time.
spit in me bloody eye, did you?
And that burns a little bit, it hurts a little bit, and it kind of weakens your resistance, and he's able to just barely get the knife into your side a little bit. You just take 1 point of piercing damage. And that is his turn. Cyrell, it's your turn.
All right, so I am running. I'm going to grab the sword in front of me and run towards the dwarf and the man fighting. I'm going to yell, Will, grab what you can and then get off the road. And then I'm going to run up to the guard and I'm going to say, stand down while I take a big swing and try to hit him, trying to hit him so he can back off.
Okay, so you're taking a swing at the bad guy on the ground.
Hmm?
Melee attacks against prone creatures have advantage.
Okay.
So roll twice.
Don't hit me.
I got a 13.
13. That'll do it. Yeah.
My other one was the 1, so I'm glad I had advantage. That was the second one I rolled.
Definitely would have hit Nebuchadnezzar with a 1. That's amazing. Okay, so with 13 you hit. So go ahead and roll damage. Tell me how much it is.
Is this a long sword, I'm assuming?
Yes.
And I add my strength modifier to that, correct?
Yes.
Melee?
Damage. Yep.
7.
7. Nice. Okay. All right. So it's right as he starts to sort of slip that dagger into Nebuchadnezzar's side, and you hear him sort of yell out in a little bit of pain, and you go, "Stand down!" You slice your sword. You just slam it across his back. It cleaves right through his, what you can now tell is very worn down, run down, very worn metal armor. It actually cleaves his metal armor. It buckles into his back, and your sword drags across his back, and now he's got this gaping wound on his back, and he kind of yells out in pain, and it causes him to drop the dagger as he rolls onto his back and just writhes a little bit. So that's your turn, Cyrell. Nebuchadnezzar, you're suddenly free from the grip and the sword or the dagger that he had as it was starting to go into your side. You're able to just pry that away as Cyrell attacks him. What would you like to do?
All right. Is this guy? He's still awake? Yeah. So he's not knocked out or anything yet. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna roll over. I'm just gonna give him like a good old punch in like the face. Just kind of knock this guy out if I can.
Right in the nose.
Punch him in the face.
Right in the nose.
All right.
Actually, I'm gonna go for his Adam's apple. So
Oh.
I'm gonna go for try to really get him down here.
All right.
So okay, so that is a 19.
That hits.
So,
Roll damage.
all right, that'll be unarmed. So I guess it's like a D4, right?
Yeah, D4 divided by 2 actually, because
Okay. But because I'm raged, and I get +2 to all my strength-based attacks. So my total then would be so that'd be 3 divided by 2, which will round down or up. Are we rounding down or up?
round up.
Round up. So that'd be 2, then +2, and then +1 for my strength. So 5.
5 damage.
5 damage.
I don't.
All right. Because you're not stabbing you in the heart, you have the option to capture or kill.
I'm not gonna kill him. I'm just gonna
Okay.
knock the guy out. Just gonna.
All right. So you punch him, but you punch him and you pull back just a little bit, so as not to actually crush his windpipe or break his neck. And you notice it just hits him, and he just immediately is knocked out, and his head's just kind of to the side.
Yeah.
Still breathing.
And then I yell at the elf and I say, "Help me drag him to the woods. We gotta know where he came from." And that's my turn.
Okay, that's your turn, and a good turn it was. Adrahel, we get back to your turn. Dala has called out to you and caught up with your pace, keeping pace with you, as she's got her sword and she wants to pry Haley free.
As I was hearing Will before saying that there was more where that came from, I start slowing down, and as I heard Dala saying that she wants to free the Hobbit, I stop and let the Hobbit down. How far from the forest am I, and how far from the car and from Nebuchadnezzar am I?
So away from the wagon and Nebuchadnezzar, you're about 15 feet. Away from the forest, you're a good 50 meters.
Okay, then I go back.
Okay.
But before going to the elf, I want to go to the wagon and see what else there is that Will was talking about. I don't know how much he got out, so I want to see the stuff of mine there.
As you make your way to the other side of the wagon, that Will was actually the only person that was on that side, you see this large chest that had been in between the two people in the front of the wagon, broken open on its side, and you see weapons, armor, and shields kind of spilled out, and you see your weapons and armor among the pile.
All right, so I yell to the group, "Hey, boys! I think that our equipment is here. Mine is here, so I'm just gonna like put it on, and then I just take it all out, like spread it out for people to be able to grab it."
Okay.
And
Did you put me down?
What?
Did you
Yeah,
put me
that was
down?
the first thing you did.
I did put you down. I didn't run all the way with you.
You still got Haley on his shoulder. Oh my gosh! He's like putting on his breastplate.
Right. I start putting my armor on, and then I tell the dwarves, like, before doing that, let's gear up, because I don't know how much time has passed, and the other wagon might be on top of us by now. So.
All right, so that is your turn. You start putting your armor and gathering your weapons, spreading things out, letting Nebuchadnezzar know. Haley, as you start your turn, you're kind of set down on the ground. Dala uses the sword and just cuts through the bindings on your hands and feet. You are free. What would you like to do?
Jazz hands. No, so I'm next to that chest, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna find my leather armor and my short bow, and quiver and all that, and you start putting it on. Is that going to be a bonus action or an action?
That's going to be an action to put that stuff on.
Okay.
Technically, it would take like a full minute, but I'm being nice to you guys. It's the first session.
Since I don't have an action, I'm gonna inspire someone. Who should I inspire? I'm gonna inspire Nebuchadnezzar because he's in the thick of it right now. So I'm just gonna.
Well, I'm not sure if that's the case. You know,
I mean, you're actually
I know.
battling at the
I know.
Um,
Everything is under control. Everything.
I got like charred by lightning. I have like one.
Yeah.
hit point
No,
left.
okay, dude. Yeah, okay.
You're not currently fighting.
Fair enough.
So
fair enough.
I have a little ditty here. There comes a time in everyone's life when they ask, should I go forth? Go forth. I tell you the battle is yours, and you reply, yes, of course.
You are inspired,
I
Nebuchadnezzar.
feel inspired. I
Good.
want to
Good
buy
job.
your mixtape.
Good job, Haley.
All right, so
It is
what does your warden inspiration do for Nebuchadnezzar?
He has a D6 that he can use in the next 10 minutes.
There you go. So on one
And can
action or attack or saving throw, where you have to roll a d20, you can also roll a d6 and add it to that roll.
cool. All right.
You feel a little bit lighter on your feet.
Grooving out.
All right, Haley, is that your turn? Is inspiration an action or a bonus action?
Inspiration is a bonus action.
Bonus action. So you've gathered your weapon and armor, done your bonus action. Would you like to stay by the wagon or move anywhere before we end your turn?
Can I move like to the edge of the wagon where I can still like hide, but then like peek around with my arrow?
Definitely. So you kind of move over to the edge of the overturned wagon. As you move over to the edge, you see a boot of the other brigand who is previously in front of the wagon, sticking out from under the side of the wagon, the rest of him under the wagon.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I thought it was just the boot, and I was like, is there a foot in the boot? Like,
There is a foot in the boot, yes. You see his boot sticking out from under the wagon.
There is a slit in my boot.
Is this the Wizard of Oz? What happened?
This is why you don't roll natural ones when your wagon is crashing. And be a nameless, faceless NPC in my game.
That's
As you end your turn, Haley, and you kind of take up that defensive position by the wagon, you notice that the other wagon that had been trailing behind you in this caravan gets a lot closer. And as it sort of peels off to the side, you realize there aren't any prisoners in the back of this wagon. There are 3 people in the front, all of them wearing the same kind of torn up, raggedy armor as the 2 people that were driving your wagon. Back of their wagon is a covered caravan with a tarp. They pull off to the side of the road. You can't see into the back of it. They're still more in front of you, and they've just kind of pulled off to the side. But the back of their wagon is covered. There's 3 people in there. They are going to figure out what's going on. And by that, I mean they're rolling initiative, so they know when to take their turns. Okay. Top of the round, Dala, you see that wagon pull up. You see the 3 guys kind of jump off of it. They look around, kind of taking in the situation. They realize that it's not just that the wagon is overturned, but that y'all are attempting to escape. 2 of them draw swords. 1 of them has a bow and knocks an arrow. What would you like to do, Dala? They're about 40 or 50 feet away from you. With your movement speed, you could run up to them, but you wouldn't be able to attack. You would have to use your action to dash. They're too far away. You also did hear from Edrahel and from Will about the equipment and armor and everything back by the wagon. So if you want, you could head over there. and grab your stuff.
Yeah, because Haley's not there anymore, right? Am I still kind of like around her?
Yeah, Haley, the wagon was maybe 5 or 10 feet away from you.
So I tell Haley that, well, I ask her if she could help me. And I don't actually specify what I need help with. And she kind of looks at me like, what is it? And I told her that I would tell her later. And then I go closer to the wagon.
Do you need help right now?
Yes.
Or do you need help later?
Pretty much kind of like, I want you to come with me and help me out.
Right now?
Yeah, like come with me. Yeah. And you look really confused because I didn't specify, but I told you that I would tell you later.
But I don't know you. Why would I come with you?
I don't know, because I started the attack, so I felt like maybe you could like trust me in some way. But...
John, what was the? Oh, there is an insight. Can I do insight check on her?
Make an insight check.
It's what's on the insight that counts, not on the outside.
It was really high, and then it turned one last time. It's a 5.
It was a 5. Okay. Christina, you can make either a persuasion or deception check based on your intentions. Don't tell the group which one it is. Just tell me what you roll.
Okay. 8.
8. Okay. You're not able to discern much from Dala's request.
Okay, so I'll take one look. Does it look like Nebuchadnezzar is still just kind of? No, not Nebuchadnezzar. Does it look like the other caravan is starting to unload?
Yes.
Come towards us. Okay, I'll take a chance. I'll follow Dala.
Okay. So we'll get back to that on Haley's turn then. Okay. Cyrell.
All right.
That's you, sir.
I'm going to yell, Will, get me my shield. And I'm going to wait a moment for him to hopefully bring that over or toss it to me. Then I'm going to tell him to get to safety, strap it on, and...
Sarah, where is safety?
Where you won't get shot by the arrow. So go hide behind the wagon. You're doing good, kid.
He hides behind the wagon. Will go on your turn from now on.
Sounds good. All right, so I'm going to strap on the shield, and I'm going to stand next to a dwarf and be like, dwarf with me. And I'm going to start like heading towards the guys with the arrow, but I want to make sure I stay within 5 feet of the dwarf so I can try to protect him as well.
Okay, so you get your shield on, get sort of in between them and Nebuchadnezzar a little bit. You start heading towards them. It's a good time to put your shield on because they're up next with a 15 on initiative. Let's see here. The first one is the guy with the bow. He's going to take a shot at you. With your shield, you're at a 15 AC, right?
If I have my armor still on. Do I still have my armor on?
You do not.
Okay, so is it just 10 plus dex plus con? I was looking it up. If you're unarmored?
Yeah, unarmored defense is going to be 10 plus dex and constitution plus 2 for your shield.
Okay, so I'm at 13 then.
13. He rolled a 12. So he knocks the arrow, he pulls it back, and he fires it. In the rain and the wind and everything else, it goes a little bit off course from where he was aiming, and you're able to sort of knock the arrow out of the way with the shield and continue on. The two brigands that had pulled swords and that were about 50 feet away or so, they both charge towards you. They get about 15 feet away, and that's as far as they can go this round. But they're still sort of running towards you, swords drawn, ready to fight, the two of you.